You can't see it. How could he know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Oh, we can
How
see it
could
now.
he know?
Ooh, there we go.
How could he
There
know?
we go.
What's up, friends? How you doing?
Good morning.
Oh, good afternoon, probably.
Hmm.
Definitely a couple good evenings out here, because this is the prime time.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
time
prime
show.
time. Best time.
That's right. Chat.
Coming in this morning.
I'm gonna refresh this page to make sure I get the right number of users when I'm doing my giveaways later today.
Do I have some reverb this morning?
No.
I don't know what those words
Maybe.
mean.
Alright.
You might. I gotta scroll up and look and see. It did. It turned your mic on again. Triggered.
Get it down one day.
Triggered! I
We
can't
will.
believe-
I promise, Pat.
It's a process.
The reverb check is good now. The
Uh,
vibes are good now.
It's a journey, though. We're having fun along the way.
Right.
That's right. Chat. Woo! This is Alex's show, ladies and gentlemen.
In
But,
name, yes. Today, it's us.
And we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sandbox Game live stream for Saturday, April 30th, 2022. My name is Joseph D. Vision X Matting, and alongside me, through the magic of the internet, we got Rad Condad Conrad Carricker,
How's it going?
and Lucas is right. What's up, Lucas? How you doing?
Hey, everyone. I'm having a great day. How are you guys?
It's early.
Like,
It's-
I'm awake. I have my amazing Spider-Man cup, my regular coffee, and then I got my cappuccino. So we're waking up.
Wait,
And then
you have 2 cups with 2 coffees?
And then I also got my little mini smoothie going. So
There
I'm
it is.
liking it.
There
I'm
is.
digging it.
You
I
gotta-
want
wake
to
up.
I want to see Conrad vibrate at some
you
point
gotta
during
get
the show today.
fresh. I think
Right.
He's just
I'm
just
off the
buzzing,
wall.
dude. Just buzzing.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
unfortunately, Lucas, that's how I stay.
That's how you what?
That's how I stay normal.
Just
And-
So what do we have to do
buzzing.
to see you vibrate?
Oh man, you get to double this.
That's pretty easy to do.
Right.
We have goals for the future now. I like this.
I'll make
Chat.
it happen. Don't worry, Pat.
Each and every Saturday right here on YouTube.com, Twitch.tv, Theta, DLive, Facebook, and Twitter.com/The Sandbox Game. We teach you the skills you need to know in the Sandbox Game or playtest your games live on this show. Of course, as you can see, your regular host, Alex Florez, is out today, so we're kicking things off with Squirrel Peril. Squirrel Peril is a game designed for Alpha Season 2's Game Jam contest by a community member like you, requested for play on the Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening show. We're going to play it here today. If you're watching live with us today, you have a special opportunity. During the stream, feel free to ask us anything from questions about the Game Maker, maybe our asset creation software VoxEdit, questions about the Metaverse, or anything else you want to know about the Sandbox Game. We'll answer those questions live as they come in, and for those questions that we cannot answer live, feel free to click on the wonderful social channels in the description below this video and tag us after the show on Discord, Telegram, Twitter, or any of our other great platforms, and we'll get an answer out for you. Of course, if you're watching this later over on YouTube.com, you may want to join us each and every Saturday starting at 1900 UTC. Of course, today is 1800 UTC, but that's neither here nor there. Alex likes to go at 1900. We went a little early today. That's right, because those watching live also have the unique opportunity to win a Wizzy the Green's lucky hat right here on this stream. We'll give you more details on that leather. We'll give you more details on that leather, so stick with us. Chat.
I love leather.
Just stick
We're
with
awake.
us.
We're perfectly
Stick
awake
with
this
us.
morning.
Conrad and I were definitely not up until 5 hours ago. That didn't happen.
Definitely not. Went to bed at a reasonable hour. Got up refreshed a long time ago.
Absolutely.
Already had a full day.
Absolutely. Chat, let's get started with a bit of news today, though. You guys know that there was a VoxEdit spring contest. Started up, announced April 4th, open from the 8th until the 15th of April. So, tweet went out a short number of hours ago. It says, we've had some excellent submissions for the Easter VoxEdit Weekly contest, but we had to boil it down to a top 10. Whoever wrote these puns, man, I'm gonna tell you something.
I love making fun.
Here they are.
Talented.
Check them out. Not check them out. Check them out. Thank you to everyone who took part. Our community's creativity is unmatched. So let's have a look at them. 1 hour ago, excuse me, posted as the #1 creation in this contest. It's an amazing.
Yeah, I saw
Mecca.
that on the as it was posted. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
like,
Like,
how do
this
you
is
beat
wonderful.
it?
It's wonderful. Wonderful. All right, so we're looking at second place here. Looking at second place. You can see each one of these creators. If you're interested in following any one of the creators of these assets, feel free to go check out the thread, twitter.com/VoxEdit. And you can see this first, second, third, and so on, tagged as we could, as available.
I have.
So I'm loving this like bunny
a
golem
monster
thing.
here.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
they're
this
so,
is,
Oh,
they're
cool.
so good looking. This, I'm really surprised at the amount of just the level of diversity that we got from this contest, and just the submissions for it overall. They're beautiful. They were just thought provoking. They were just like crazy. Like, I mean, the amount of like just time that went into some of these is insane, and they did so well with them.
yeah, it's great. Actually, this one in particular reminds me of one of the very first assets that was ever designed in VoxEdit, where somebody made an earth golem that did this same sort of effect that came up out of the earth there. But really, really cool stuff. And we've got third place here. Looks like a little cupcake manufactory going on. Oh, or is it an egg dyeing factory? I can't
think it's an egg dyeing
it's
factory,
an egg dyeing
yeah.
factory, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they're coming in sort of voxelized, yeah? And then they give them a little touch, they give them a little dye. And then as it comes around the loop here, right at the very end, that last bunny is like, this should be round. You see that?
Yeah, it's just everything. Like, I don't know what it was about the description for this contest, but I'm really just, I'm stupidly excited for all the submissions for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very nice, very nice. All right, new fourth place here. Looks like a little something of a cuckoo clock. So I don't know if they're called that everywhere, but here in the States, we would call them a cuckoo clock. It's really nice. Nice looking
Does anybody
design.
else know them as something besides a cuckoo clock?
That's a good question, chat. Is this known as something else anywhere in the world?
Is it a TikTok clock?
TikTok clock. TikTok cuckoo?
All right. I mean, they're all TikTok
I'm
clocks,
just-
you know what I mean?
I'm
You're
making
doing a
stuff up now.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Loving this bunny in the airplane right here. This is a 10. This is a 10.
That's amazing. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yep. Super
Look
cute.
at the ears
very-
flop in the wind.
Oh yeah, the ears
It's very.
they gotta fly.
It's so rabid. Like I love that.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's the feel that I get from it. Like a little Subnautica guy here. Okay. I'm getting the vibes from here. Like that a lot.
Yes, I saw this one. I love this one.
You like the hot air balloon? It's funny because there was a hot air balloon contest that I think just recently had come to light. So be interesting to see them kind of go back and be like, well, you know, I just did that. Here we go. Here's another one.
They
Reskin.
look round too.
You know? Yeah, there we go. All right, and then a bunny, the Easter Knight, and Egbert. This seems like something that our little D&D party might like there, Lucas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Wait. So what's the bunny's name?
It just says Easter Knight.
Okay. You know what? I can dig it. He could be a paladin with a little familiar.
Right.
I'm into it.
Oh man. I'm sorry, this animation right now, dude. Just like, this butterfly has got to go. I will fight you, butterfly. That's what I'm saying.
If we learned anything from The Simpsons, is that nobody ever expects the butterfly. So I feel like this is prudent. Because that butterfly was clearly up to no good.
I have no point of reference for that.
It was from like season 3 or 4 of The Simpsons. Bart used to talk about like he wanted to be reincarnated as a butterfly because nobody ever suspects the butterfly, so he could set all the fires and do all the bad things, and nobody would think it was him.
Chat is gonna think that I am sacrilegious for having no interest in The Simpsons. Never have.
It's okay.
There it is. Is it? Is it though?
It
I don't
is.
know. We'll find
Not
out.
for everybody.
10th place. Beautiful Fabergé egg style bunny. There.
I'm really digging that UFO bunny. Oh, that's cool. I wasn't expecting it to pop open like that. Well done.
Yeah, so it's a nice little collection there. And if you are one of those winners, congratulations for having got that win. Sand distribution on that, of course, will be in the near future for you. But, you know, Metaverse has already given me some guff. I told you that the chat would say it was sacrilegious, right? Chat would say it's sacrilegious because I didn't see The Simpsons. But we're going to play Squirrel Peril here today. And as we do on this show and on the Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening show. We're going to give direct feedback to this experience with the interest of helping the developer make a more complete experience. Of course, if you're watching live, if you are the creator, if you would like your experience reviewed, feel free to submit it in the chat. We can put it in the queue for this show or the Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening show at any time to give you that feedback to help get your product ready for the metaverse. You can also completely disagree with absolutely everything I say. You're the developer, you're in charge. You do whatever you want to do. But what I'm going to try to do is open up this experience and find ways that I can break the way that you have designed it so that it does things that you don't expect it should do. And in doing so, you can know how a general consumer might break your product and how to better design it. So that's our intention here on the show today. Squirrel Peril, let's get into it. How's your guys' week? How's it going? Lucas, how was your week today? This week. This whole week happened today.
This week. It was amazing. I mean, it was just things have been going pretty hot and heavy with Voxel Ocean, and we've just been, really burning the candle at both ends, but it's the best possible burn, and we've been having a lot of fun. We've been making a lot of progress and a lot of headway, and it's just been doing some really incredible things, and I honestly feel incredibly blessed to be in this space and doing what I'm doing because I get to work with some insanely talented people, and I'm just having a lot of fun, and I don't know, man, this last week was it was a whirlwind of awesome.
That's cool. That's good to hear.
How about you?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good. Just chilling, mostly. I am currently exhausted, but that's, my fault for hanging out with Conrad all day.
You were hanging out with your homie.
Hey, wait. Okay. Oh, okay. Whew. I was stressed. Initially, I was thinking that I shouldn't be picking up that squirrel, but it looks like all the squirrels have identifying markers for the locations that they may be in, and I let one die. Darn it. All right, let's hope that
I remember.
Game over.
Yeah.
I remember we played this on the GMA before, and I know there's been some upgrades.
Oh man, it looks like there's some fighting happening right now. This wolf right here, he was preoccupied with the. Okay. You know what? I'm already here. I gotta pick it up.
Some leeway with the deer.
No, I hit the. Oh.
Don't take him out.
Geez.
Don't take him out.
Yeah.
It doesn't say you gotta rescue the deers. It just says the squirrels.
Yeah. Okay. So right now, as I'm looking at this, I shouldn't be able to destroy. Maybe I should. I don't think that I should be able to destroy the tree with a sword, personally.
I mean, wow, it's just gone. Dude, Captain Planet would be so upset with you.
Okay, well...
He's our hero.
You tell Captain Planet that if I put a... Oh my goodness! Okay, so here's what I'm seeing. Here's what I'm seeing happening.
Captain Planet?
We've got some... we got some hyper-aggressive wolves, which I'm here for it, okay? But...
Yes, yeah.
There is a way in the Game Maker you can change the state of a wolf based on a proximity-based trigger, and I would recommend that you look into how to do this process because what is happening here is that these wolves are on the map, and when I spawn in on the map, any one of the squirrels anywhere in the world could be being assaulted by a wolf, and I somehow have to be in all of these locations all at the exact same time in this experience, which is not compatible with reality.
No.
Now
Joe,
I could leave that.
Not getting good.
See, I'm sure I could speedrun it, right? Like, let me see if I can speedrun it. Let's see if I can just go grab the squirrels and ignore the wolves. Not even gonna try to fight you. Please get off my friend. There we go.
I think that's the idea here, is just to go as quick as possible.
Right. Okay, that squirrel I don't have to care. He's not gonna die. It's fine. Little buddy there. All right, where's the last? Here, this one was at risk.
Andy Ritchie says, use toggle behavior with speaker that detects avatar and range.
There you go.
That sounds wise.
That's exactly where I was going with that, because you want to... Essentially, you want the wolves to not be aggressive until you have an opportunity to possibly save this squirrel. So it needs to be a situation where I've gotten relatively close to this group, and now all the wolves turn aggressive.
Yeah.
With the squirrel with me. Otherwise, I'm halfway around the world and my squirrel friend dies and it says game over.
You've only got one squirrel left. He seems pretty safe.
Okay,
He's
so
gone now.
So let's go back to the drawing board. Except this time, I'm not going to collect the squirrel, and we'll see if we can find some other things. Because right away, this is very.
You're not going to have time to find anything else, unfortunately.
Well, if I leave the one on top of the tree, right? They won't die.
Oh yeah, right.
So I'm going to leave the one on top of the tree, and we'll go see if we can find anything else about this. But right away, the feedback that I would have is that it's either too easy or far too hard to do these things. Did this squirrel die? Did this squirrel die already? This is what I'm talking about, right?
How dare he?
It
seems pretty random too.
Exactly. Well, and it's going to be because the wolves walk in a random direction. You know, they're pathing. Right. You never know which one they're going to aggress against. Like, this guy seems to be interested in the deer that are nearby first, but there's
He just seems like he's kind of a jerk. Hey, just going after whoever's closest.
Okay.
Real instigator.
All right, I saved that squirrel on time. I'm like fighting just to. Okay, they're aggressing on nothing. Where's this guy? Oh, okay, there you are. You're over here. Okay.
But he's going after the deer. Let him go after the deer.
Okay. So
Lucas is just like, let him go.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
He's not worth it.
Don't do it. All right, so now we've got it at least set to a point where I can be sure that the little squirrels are safe, and I can kill some wolves, and we'll see what happens. So what I'm gonna do here? Okay.
You just attacked it.
Hitting. Yeah, I accidentally hit the grass here. So that essentially what you ought to do, in my opinion, is make sure that all the trees, all the grass, like this tree you can't hurt. But for some reason this grass can be chopped.
Maybe it's bad grass.
It could be okay, but in the instance of this particular grass, it's actually already very short. So I don't know if you need to chop it, and it's not necessarily like adding anything to your game. So I'd recommend that any of the grass that you have not be choppable. But so far you've done good to basically make it so that you can walk through all the grass. That's always a key thing. Optional is walking through these bushes that are here, because they may be relatively fluffy bushes. If it was real life, you just stomp down into that bush. But with
these bushes, I like it when they're like the style and whatnot. That is, I like it when they have collision, so you have to be able to move around them because they look too thick.
Right, and that's the thing that I was thinking is they're kind of right in the middle of that. So that's not something to really think about or mention too much. Like this mushroom, I like the fact that I can't walk through it because, generally speaking, when I look at these designs, I think if it's thinner than my arm, my leg, whatever, then I should be able to kick right through it, right? Or walk through those. So sometimes you'll have tall reeds or corn stalks or something like that. And it seems to me like you should be able to walk through those things because you could in the real world. But with the example of the bushes or these large mushrooms, you probably wouldn't be able to just stomp this out or whatever if you're walking through it.
Challenge accepted.
I mean, do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Go stomp it out.
Stomp it out.
So I'm going to try something else here, and I'm going to let this wolf kill me and see what happens real quick. This wolf doesn't even want none. He was like, nope.
He's like,
he gave me a little bop, and he was like, excuse me, I'm going to need you to go.
My one little tag, and that's it.
He's like, I'm going to lay down for a nap now. Thank you. I'm going to...
So,
it's the end of my work day.
Now, if you happen to do the thing where you have set a proximity-based aggression for the wolves, and so I got a game over when I died. That's interesting. That means that there is no respawn point in this world, or no set option to respawn, rather, for your avatars. So, your choice, but I did want to test it to see if that was possible. When you are making an experience like this, if you do proximity-based triggers for these wolves, so they all turn aggressive when you get somewhat near them, then in doing so, you're going to want to make it first that they have a larger hunger, essentially, like a desire to attack, because that will be satiated in predators like this. And it seems like these predators only need like one attack per 30 seconds or something, which is good the way that you've designed it now, because if they were insatiable, they would have just destroyed the squirrels. But if you change it over to that other factor, then it makes it more of a pressing and emergent situation that these wolves would have continued to attack any squirrel in range or whatever, or you, for as many times as it takes for you to die, rather than just be like, I got one bite and I'm okay. But yeah, this is, I mean, it's a good start. It seems to me like this is a good learning process for some of these introductory level mechanics. And I would recommend that if you do move up to that next step where you start to have proximity-based triggers so that these wolves get aggressive at the right times, that you don't make it so that a person dies and it's game over, but rather you die and you respawn at the nearest available respawn. And then maybe consider, as a way to like develop this a little bit further, that at the beginning you've added an NPC that you can have a conversation with, as maybe it's like a conservationist or something like that, that's saying like, these squirrels are in danger, the wolves have overtaken the area, can you help me, cull the wolves or what have you. And then you can take it to the next level beyond that by having like an underground cave-like situation where you can come up with another piece of, whether it's continuing with the squirrels as like a thing, or it's the next level of this region's conservation. And I'm just coming up with that off the top of my head, so it could be whatever plot line you want. But to introduce a reason to be here is going to help with the fact that this game can right now be finished in a number of seconds. And it's important that the game should, at least right now, based on user feedback, the game should be relatively short, but it shouldn't be able to be finished in a minute.
Right.
And Lucas, you know all about that right now, don't you? Lucas probably had to AFK. I told him earlier.
Oh,
if he had to AFK,
right.
just dip. Just
go.
Dip. Don't even mention anything. But
realistically, though, like if this was supposed to be a speed run, even so, I still want more from it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems very empty, world-wise.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is to me, it's pretty clear that this is I'm just learning the product, I'm just getting started sort of thing, and that's good. That's fine, right? You're gonna have that.
We love to see it. Don't get us wrong.
You go from this and you go find that tutorial, the 1-2 pieces, and once you've got the idea of how to make some narrative design and add it to this and give us a reason to go and do all these things, then you can go from narrative design to possibly using this as your first quest in a multi-layered long chain of quests that gets into something much deeper, much more intense, whatever. But just starting us off with this is like the same kind of quest you would have in like any MMORPG as your first like, I exist quest, which is a good thing for a user if you can transition this into those higher level functions.
Right. And shout out to Vpire in the chat.
Hey, what's up?
Morning. Or
good morning. Good evening.
Oh man,
good evening.
It's evening. Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening. All right.
And
so
I don't have to. I'm going to get to our questions, but so I don't have to type it out. Yes, Ice Pilot. I'm legitimately three things when it comes to my ancestry. The beard comes from the Scottish portion. The rest of it's German and English.
I have no idea. I don't know.
And there's a town in Scotland called Carrick. I'm Carricker. People from there are Carrickers. There you go. Enough about me, though. Let's get on to sandboxing.
All right. So, Conrad, did we have anything else that was queued up for the GMAE show that we can run through? Because I to be honest with you, I didn't pre-screen that experience, and I definitely expected it to go longer. It's been about 30 minutes.
I remember it being pretty short, and it looks like that part didn't change.
Yeah, so not a lot of things changed there. So for now, as we are looking for something to give for you guys.
We want 9A,
Feedback.
7As. It ain't easy being green. We have yet to do that on the GMA.
Oh,
show.
okay. All right. Let me
and I
see if I can
believe-
find that one.
There he is. 9A, 7As in the chat. So
It ain't easy being
we
green.
go.
Only. This is made by QA7A. That's pretty funny. All right, that's on page 6 or 7, somewhere in that range. Maybe a little further on, but we'll see. There it is, right here. Ain't easy being green. Author 9A7A. Well, that's interesting that it read it wrong on that, but that's okay. The eternal battle of living room decor taken to a new level. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Get it.
Has anyone made a good runner game? Asks Only Hardcore. You know, you should go watch the show that we had just like a number of hours ago, like 10 hours ago on this channel. Because that
last night, but
yeah, we play tested a good runner game just then, and it was a lot of fun. There was, of course, there's going to be some feedback as we do every day on this show. So we gave some feedback on how we may, in my opinion, improve that rather. But yeah, it was good. Okay, so get the Mystic House plant to decorate your apartment and the G blade to protect it with. Interesting. Okay. So I'm spawning in a confined space, which I gotta say I like. I mean, visually speaking, it could be maybe a little bit more interesting, but I like the fact that as I'm first spawning in here, I've got this clear visual indicator of a wall of sorts, right? I've got this, like, it's not an invisible wall, but based on the way that it is designed, I do get a sense a little bit that I'm getting kind of railroaded into the only option is to go get that thing. I know what the quest is. The quest was going to tell me to go get that thing anyway, but when I'm in this area right now, if you're going to forest it like this, then I would recommend that you take it and you give that forest a little bit of diversity. And then also with this, oh, that's interesting. Did you see that? So I just picked up something called Final Golden Treasure Pot. Oh, yeah, you know what? You know what? It's time to make an appearance here. Here we go. No, I just picked up something called
I forgot
Final...
that could happen. But
Yeah, I forgot. Final Golden Treasure Pot was here, so I don't know if that was meant to spawn based on a timer or something in your creation, but I picked it up by accident. But anyway, back with the forested area. I don't really recommend this very often, but with different kinds of assets, part of that playtest is making sure that you do make it so that a user can't just manipulate your terrain and jump up on and over it, which, you know.
9A7A says spawned on a message.
Spawned on a message. So that's interesting. Like that message, I don't know if that message occurs based on a timer, but nonetheless, you can see that I was able to collect it, and I don't know what it is, but that could be game breaking. We'll have a look.
Can you jump around the corner of those trees right there?
Nope. I mean, yes, actually, the lava doesn't hurt enough.
Okay. We can get back here. So yeah, the trees there, if you can just go in the lava and live it. It looks like a hidden message.
Yeah, they put a bomb in there.
Face.
A little bomb in there, yeah, smiley bomb.
I like that. That's a lot of fun.
Oh, but some of the reeds are collision. Okay.
You're gonna kill Joe.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much because you're not really meant to be here. But it's interesting that only a few of them are. Well, if that comes up later, then we'll get back to it. It looks like there's another one up here. Oh, there's something. Another interesting. So there's some cool symbolism happening here. Let's see what happens if I die. Okay, I respawn.
We do have a respawn
That's
point.
nice. But anyway, back to the trees real quick. I know it's a small thing, but it's huge, right? You want to have some diversity in your foliage as much as you can. And then if you don't want people to go through here, you don't want people to exploit the polys that are on it, put a large, thin, flat, invisible wall in front of it. Something that you can't access to jump on the top of. And because you do have climbable things, that's going to be a bit hard for this particular area. But put it here so that I can't just jump over it if you didn't want people to go that way. Because the forest is going to give a good visual representation of it first.
Yeah, you can get your gamers to go. Oh, you just walk on that? You can get your gamers to go in a direction without
Wait.
a checkpoint or without trying to directly railroad them.
Okay, so I got a checkpoint that came up really early. I don't think this one is really necessary there, but do I need to kill the artifact? What's going on?
I think you may have glitched it out with our previous method.
Is that true? Is that the case? Done, you can't go over. It says, okay.
It's supposed to be there. Okay.
So the Mythic House plant may not have been that asset. If it is there to be something that I jump on, I would say that that particular asset, rather than if you want it to be a thing that hurts you on purpose, then what I would recommend that you do is a proximity-based damage rather than having that asset attack you. Because I'm looking down in this pile of dudes down here. It seems like maybe... can I collect this one? Yeah, that's a big fight. I'm just going to go fight this whole... Just everybody. Just let's fight.
I think you should. Go fight him.
Hey, welcome back, Lucas.
Welcome back.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, so I had a question for you, Lucas.
What's up?
You're part of that Voxel Ocean team. It's my understanding y'all are super busy in the near future here.
Yes, sir.
How's that process, to the extent that you can explain it without violating a non-disclosure agreement? How does the process of developing for an alpha work?
Um,
Dun, dun, dun.
I can't say anything about that because we haven't actually confirmed or denied that we're working on something for an alpha.
Oh, how does the process of developing in the Sandbox game work for that team?
That's a much easier question
Thank
to
you.
answer. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we've teamed up with a group based out of Hollywood, California, called Verified Labs, and they're doing a lot of the client searching and hunting, and they basically do the marketing on that side for us, and then we sit down with the potential clients and we kind of just go over who we are, what we do. We show them some examples of things that we've created, and we sit down and see what their vision is. The greatest thing about it is a lot of these people that are coming to us, a lot of them have budgets, they have time, and they have experience in whatever industry they're in, but they have a story that they've always wanted to tell, or an experience that they've always wanted to share with people. And so what we're doing is we're just giving them an outlet to make that a reality, to bring that dream to life, to tell that story on a grand scale. And so we show them what we've created, and we hear what they want to do, and we give them an idea for how we would convey that, or how we would do that, or how we would represent that. And it just kind of grows from there.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's been incredibly rewarding, and it's been a lot of fun. And the people that we're working with, it's been a surprisingly uplifting experience in pretty much all aspects. Did that answer your question?
That answered my question fairly well, Lucas, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you asking it.
So let me give some feedback based on what I've done just now as you were answering that question. I came down here into this pit full of bad guys with the intention of picking up this what appears to be collectible trophy thing.
You weren't supposed to be able to kill them so easily, but you got that Alpha Blade.
Nonetheless, if I wasn't able to, that's
You're supposed to go get that G Blade, but go ahead.
So as I'm in this space right now, it's open, it's available, it's visible, right? So I impulsively went, bad guys, let's go get them. If I was meant to come here later, then one of the options that you could employ is a trigger, again, based on an event, where I go and do a thing, and then a cap or like surface cover could have been removed. Now, I see this floating idol-like thing, and I think to myself, I want it, right? If it is not at this time supposed to be collectible, and it's supposed to be collectible later, then having that cover over this space would have definitely made it so that I don't want it. And then as I come down in here, you noticed I immediately was like, oh, more stuff, right? I look down here. I'm like, I got this goes somewhere. This has got to be a thing. So, oops, there's an invisible wall here. The invisible wall is fine, right? Until if there was a cover over this space or some, some tiles, blocks that get destroyed based on a proximity trigger, then cool, I wouldn't have gone down there. I wouldn't have tried to kill them. I wouldn't have tried to collect the idol, and I wouldn't have hit that invisible wall there. I assume that if I collect the idol based on a trigger that allows me to, that invisible wall comes down. We'll see what happens as we continue on.
I do gotta say, I like the moving platforms that are coming up here.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
It's moving for a lot. So.
Okay. So I've got a checkpoint here. I'm not sure if it actually is going to trigger. Maybe it does. But I'm still pretty close to the other checkpoint that was also still very close to the spawn checkpoint. Now,
the tile that goes to the very top is a little bit too high. It let you skip a lot of the other ones here.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. It does take some of that challenge out of it. Because I'm sure if I sprint jumped, I could have gone 3-4 more tiles over. But thinking about where this checkpoint is now, and the last checkpoint already being there, it's good that you've employed some checkpoints, but I think all of them are still far too early. If I die, I can see where I'm gonna spawn. So I would say rather than have that idol that can attack you there, you could still of course have it there. But you don't have to destroy it or what have you. If you do make a proximity-based trigger on the one that was floating there, instead put it on a tile so that I can spawn, I can jump up the tiles, avoid that idol up there, and still get up here, because all this way isn't very far necessarily to need a checkpoint. But again, it's good that you have started to employ them, because people do enjoy having them. Okay, the cacti kill me instantly. I like that. I appreciate that, given that this is meant to be a parkour challenge. Oh.
Hey, Joe, got a question for you.
Okay, what's up?
So, somebody in the chat is asking, can we hope to see the mobile version of Sandbox by the end of this year? I told them, we can hope all we want, but I don't think it's actually going to happen by then. But I thought I might actually, ask for you if you have any more solid information on that.
Sure. So the
you have that roadmap.
Yes.
That people refer to.
Yes, officially on the roadmap, as the roadmap was written back in 2019, late 2019. We did have that as projected for 2022. But as we are in active open development and constantly adjusting and changing things based on your feedback, that is probably not within the scope of work at this time in terms of coming out this year. The target that I personally like to set for when mobile development is 1.0. Assuming that the game client and the game creator are in feature filled, then mobile development makes more sense. It doesn't mean that it can't happen sooner, for sure, but there's going to be a certain stage where we have features so full that resources can now be opened up for mobile development. And we do know that it is an essential aspect of what the future of the sandbox looks like, because
the sandbox started.
Exactly. Thank you. It came from there. It came from that space. The Sandbox Evolution, the last version of the Sandbox game, was a 2D side-scrolling game creator like this that was not on the blockchain and had 40 million mobile downloads. So we're very much expecting to go there, and I'll definitely jump on that Eagle Michelangelo in just 1 second. But we're very much expecting to release on mobile, but it's just a matter of making sure that, as I said, or as I say pretty regularly, we want to make sure that the product is good, more important than coming out fast.
We've all seen games come out too early that were just, dookie.
Yes.
And you can't re-release a game, but you can hold it off and wait till it's perfect. I'd rather have it be that vision of perfection than have it sooner. I know we all want it now. I want it now. We all want it now, but
Yeah.
now isn't necessarily the best when it comes to game development.
Now is not necessarily done.
Exactly.
No. Oh, okay. The Eagles
And
throwing.
and with Polygon, the Polygon migration, it is going to happen soon. We're got a lot of info other than soon right now.
Yes. So the way I tell people about the Polygon migration is this. So we can see it happening in stages. Like the very first stage of the Polygon migration was changing the staking pool from the ETH sand over to the Matic sand pool. Once
Yep.
that happened, then we started hearing talks of the land migration. And after land migration, the next step is obviously something along the lines of maybe the asset migration.
Mhm.
And so it's coming in stages. So it's happening. It's happening. And it's eventually it'll all be done. It's just happening in legs.
Jackie Chan says, we don't want Sandbox 2077. And I have to add to that, I don't want No Man's Sand. So
Whew.
I'm right there with you.
The shade. First of all, those
I'm
guys
skirting
have,
the line of
those guys have
copyright.
added at least 2 patches since then. All right.
Yeah.
At least
It's a
2.
much better game. A much better game.
Yeah.
Now Cyberpunk, I'm not going to speak on, but
You
go
literally
on from,
just did. He just did it, chat. He says, "I'm not going to do it." He does it right away.
They does it.
right.
I don't know what
My
to believe anymore.
hypocrisy knows no bounds.
Black is
Here
white,
we
up
go.
is down.
Crypto Nerd 303 wants to know when the season passes are released. What is that done? Is it to only landholders? Pass holders? What's going on?
No. So season passes are distributed at random, based. Oh my goodness! All right, just let the water do its thing. They're distributed at random, based on, you entering social contests or you're playing inside the alpha. It looks like this would have healed me for a bit.
To interrupt you there, I love these little Metroid guys going on here.
Yeah, the little there. I can't tell if it's like a rock monster, like a hermit crab. I don't remember the intention of that particular
It's a
asset, but
Space rock monster, obviously.
it's a sentient
yeah.
dookie. Like I don't know.
That's fun.
Distribution on Season 3 passes have not started, Sandbox or Mike, because Season 3 hasn't started yet, unfortunately.
That is true.
Yeah, they start after.
That is also true.
After.
No.
Can you get to... Oh, we forgot to jump.
No. I definitely pushed the button,
forget?
but when it did the thing where like the little interior section retracts into the body,
Oh, did it
it
push
like
you?
yeah, it didn't push me, but so much as made it so that I couldn't jump.
It's a nice little checkpoint, though. I mean,
Yeah, I mean the checkpoint's doing its job now because this is crazy.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
This
like
is a good one.
I think this isn't a problem per se, but it really depends on your user, right? Because I might look at this particular jump and be like, well, that's not like literally. I would say if I was playing this for me, yeah, I'm not doing that, because I'm looking at these rocks and this one, like they're unreliably, when you step on them, you can just get thrown like that. Sometimes it carries you because it's on this fly animation. Same thing with the eagle. But rather than doing this, I would recommend that you do a platform where if you do jump on the platform has a proximity based on your character, like encasement that happens, that holds me in place as it moves. And then when it gets close to its destination, that encasement gets destroyed so that I can jump off of it. But of course that takes some of the, I guess, skill-based play out of it. Okay. All right. It just, see, that's what I'm talking about. So I can't wait long enough on that rock to get on to the next one, basically because of the way that the fly pattern is kind of randomized and arbitrary. But once I can get there, I'm definitely going to get that sense of pride and accomplishment. There we go. All right.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You put the die inside.
That's right.
Anyway,
Parried. Get
back
parried,
on
casual.
questions.
No!
I didn't understand the reference, Conrad.
You said
It's
and
my
that's what it's
thing.
all about.
That's my thing.
Um,
Yeah.
Left hand
Put your
in,
left
put
foot in,
your-
but it's
Gotcha.
your dying
Wow.
side, because...
Uh,
Oh!
I'm letting
I
you
found
guys
a problem.
down today.
I found a problem.
fine.
Did you
We're
see
barely
that?
awake.
Did you see this?
What?
You can kill the checkpoint.
Yeah, so you have your checkpoints designed in such a way right now, and that I can hit them if I'm in the right position.
What happens if you kill it?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I was gonna
Oh,
say kill
boy.
it and then just do the here I go killing again.
Okay, it's dead. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm really excited actually. Why am I so excited?
No! Okay, I guess that serves a purpose.
Oh man.
Wait, what?
Okay.
All right, yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, make sure that your checkpoint can't be destroyed, but it looks like your checkpoint is actually a calculator that is the arrow that says checkpoint rather than the stone indicator. So make sure that
Gotcha.
your stone indicator can't be destroyed, so that visually speaking, that just makes a little more sense there. Get
Yeah.
parried, casual, goblin, Manfred.
I like it. When an experience has that red faction feel, where you can kill everything, you can destroy the walls and all that fun stuff.
Like Zelda, killing the grass and the pops.
Just being able to dig through the map. So if that was the intention, which 987A says that was definitely not, then I think it's fun. Kill those checkpoints. Make them suffer for their own hubris.
No. See, okay. So now we're on this platform right here, and I like the fact that we're jumping up and we're getting up and around it and doing a little parkour thing. But I would give these branches of parkour a little more substance, a little more width, because as I'm swinging here, I'm not trying to overswing or do any of that. I'm actually being quite careful with my swings and parrying more often, but nonetheless, my character will go whoop and just fly off a cliff when I get to like swing number 3. So
Do baby steps.
Baby
Our
steps,
friend
Joe.
EYZ in the chat says if he adds the tags of the platform to it, they will act like platforms, hold the avatar in place. In reference to our little crab monsters down there.
oh yeah, that's fair.
Crab monsters. Got it.
I mean, lobster monster.
Okay, so now that
No,
I've
no,
grabbed...
I'm glad they have a label so I can like call them something.
Right. I didn't want to call him Metroid.
No,
All right.
I mean, I'm cool with just having something. 'Cause, like, the flying turd just didn't have the same ring to it.
It definitely doesn't.
That's not true at all. It definitely has the same ring to it. What are you talking about?
Fair enough. I happily withdraw my submission.
No, don't do it. No! Okay, that's just me being bad. Don't worry about that. We're going to try this again. Just going to let the water do its job.
Sometimes I despise the delay, and sometimes I love the delay because I hear you scream, and then I just know that I need to look back to the screen to see something happen.
Oh. All right, another
Here we
checkpoint.
go. Here we
Okay.
go.
We got it. And once again, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, this guy's probably just going to throw me off a cliff of my
Yeah.
own swinging. But
He looks like a luchador in the making. He just wants to toss you.
there we go.
Well, once again, as always,
What we got?
tradition. I'm gonna butcher the name.
All right.
Chalk Langjard over on YouTube. My apologies, friend. When will we be able to create a game experience like a social hub in the game? Is that
You
possible?
can currently make your social hubs in the Game Maker and make them ready. In order for them to actually be a social hub in the Game Maker, however, it requires that a particular staff member manually goes and changes some back-end code in order for you to do that at this time, because that is something that is meant to be for partners or special events when like we see an outstanding community or whatnot and approve those manually. But
Right. We
yeah.
most recently had a DJ
Uh-oh.
host in an event.
Yeah, in the Sandstorm Social Hub.
Right.
Yeah.
I was there for that. It was a lot of fun. They did a really good job. Actually, I'm really glad you brought that up because I've been wanting to talk about that, like the presentation that they put out for that. It was very clever. I don't know. Did either of you guys participate?
No, we got there like 2 hours
Right
later when we
after.
were on the show, yeah.
Oh, but you
Yeah.
so you still walked into it though. You saw how they like lowered you into the party event.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
That was such a cool idea. I really enjoyed that because it utilized their space really economically, but at the same time, it was like a presentation. Like you weren't just walking into the club; you were being, like escorted by this flying platform. It was just a really cool feel and vibe. I really liked that. They did such a good job.
You're right, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
I did.
Chat,
We ended
you
up.
saw it?
We ended up seeing it right after.
Yeah.
And Joe gave it the good old critique, of course.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we walked around and
no
found
judgment,
everything
but
good.
so like there's some interesting. Okay,
So 9A7A wants to know: is there a way to avoid the slipping like that?
yeah, and that's what I talked about earlier, right? When you and even a user had brought it up as well that first you can use the platform asset type when you're working with that, but honestly, if you want to avoid the slipping, just stop making it so small. Like this tiny idol is going to be something that is very likely your character is just going to slip off of it, and sometimes even larger assets. So what I like to recommend that people do is, hopefully I don't fall off of this as soon as it moves.
We'll get back to Crypto Nerd's question here in a second.
There we go. Okay, it's moving with me. Thank goodness. But when I'm thinking about designing those, you make the platform, and then in the center of the platform you put a spawner, like an asset that will spawn other objects based on proximity, and then when you get on that asset in the middle of the platform, spawn invisible walls on the outsides of the platform. And then when the platform gets near the destination, you have another asset that triggers the destruction of those invisible walls so that you get locked in to that platform if you want to lock people into a platform. Obviously, in like a parkour game, a skill-based game, whatever, that's not what you want to do necessarily, but when you want people to experience these sorts of things as a piece of narrative and just have that like low, slow flight happen for them, then lock them in so that they can enjoy it rather than randomly falling and going like, oh, I gotta walk around here and do this and do that, right?
It's a fun experience where you were flying in a dumpster. I believe it was just called Dumpster Fires. That I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
But they had done it so that when you hop down into the actual dumpster itself, it had those collision. What?
What is happening?
Okay.
We didn't get to read that dialogue. What just happened?
Yeah, so there was a little bit of a narrative beat there. Not much, but it was mostly the developer thanking the users for playing, right? Like the Panther up there was saying like, wow, I can't believe you made it all this way. Congratulations. Here's a POAP for having completed the thing. It's a nice narrative beat, but obviously that's going to be an unrealized POAP. I'm not getting that just for having played this. And then I grabbed that trophy that was described at the very beginning, and it spawned me back here to get a last narrative piece. Now, if you are going to do that, that's great. That's, I highly encourage that people do that to close out their games, to say thank you or to say like created by or whatnot. But make it so that the last thing that you grab is the victory completion trigger for the event that happens right after you spawn wherever you want to spawn for like the promotion, the self-promotion, the, other people's, what have you. So I could go through this whole thing. I could get to the end. I could talk to the Panther. It could say, hey, congratulations, you can go get a POAP, blah, 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 blah. Grab the trophy. And then it spawns me here. And where that text bubble popped up should instead be a sign that was also triggered to spawn with the congratulations text that I can read right in front of me on the victory screen. So basically in order it goes, you spawn here, you see the thing, the asset spawns that triggers victory, which spawned right under you, and boop, then I would see victory, it took you so much time, you had this many deaths, you had this many quests completed, and you've got the pop-up text that's like, thanks for playing. If you want to see more, go over to twitter.com/username or whatever, right? Do that promotion, and people will be like, cool, that was great, and they can restart or whatever. They can do it again. Now let's go back to the other things that I was talking about earlier. This area down here still has no purpose, and this idle asset, I can't grab it. So I still wanted this. I still wanted to kill everything down here, but there's no point in having it there. If you want to do the same thing where there are some monsters you got to fight, then make it somewhere along the path instead of putting it down here in a pit that you must kill yourself to get out of, and don't make it so that the pit has that invisible wall down there, all that sort of stuff. So make it maybe like you've also got a lot of wasted land here, which is what it is, right? Some of it can just be there for visual effect or do whatever. And it's interesting that the grass disappeared after I beat the game. But if you're in this space over here is kind of your starting zone, right? And you're working your way through the forest with combat beats, then you could have that same combat and then move into that parkour and mix it up with combat and parkour.
So
and
9A7A says you got the message early. If you remember that, we kind of somehow it broke itself.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. The
right.
Trophy, right?
Yeah, and then also that the pit being down there is for a reason. Just gotta adjust how to get that reason to easily be conveyed, as you were saying.
Cool. Yeah. So okay. So if that's the case, then where the pit does have a reason, but you saw that I could break it here, try to run it back, give it another look in your design, and make some tweaks, some adjustments, and let's see if I can break it again. Does that sound good?
Yeah,
I feel like that's,
I
mean,
like
obviously
that idea.
it's not going to happen today because it does take some time to develop these experiences. But once again, I want to thank you for giving me a chance to play it through because, like I said, it's got good pieces, and the whole point of this show is to work toward a more complete product, whatever that means. So if you're seeing something that I'm doing that you didn't expect me to be able to do, then you know that you can go back in it inside the Game Maker, make an adjustment, and see if when I play it, I try to play it as if I've never played it before when I do play these games. So when I go back the second time, it's going to be like a fresh start for you. And we'll see if I can break it again.
I bet you can. I believe in you, Joe.
9A7A says, yeah, it wasn't broken for me. So.
Yep. And that's always going to happen too. That's another thing that I advise all the time is if you have a developer's account for the Sandbox game, right? Your account is a developer's account. Everybody does. Have another one. Have another account. So that when you publish your experience to the gallery, you can see if for any reason a glitch pops up that doesn't pop up for you when you have all the assets in your account or you have, the full design or what have you. Because sometimes things behave differently for a consumer than they do for the person designing it. And I don't know if that's based on cache data inside your PC or whatever, but I know that I've seen it happen at least a few times where things break unexpectedly for you, just because you are the user and not the developer. All right, so Lucas, can you do me a favor, sir?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, we got a form to send out, and then I have some questions while that's going.
Let's do it. That is exactly the question that I was going to ask.
Oh.
Send out that form, sir.
Yes, and so back to Crypto Nerd's question earlier.
Okay.
When the season passes or releases, how is that done? Only the landholders, pass holders? We almost finished it.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So season passes. In Alpha Season 2, you could earn raffle tickets while you played in the Alpha. Those raffle tickets can be earned not just from playing, but from other means as well. But more details on what those means are will come out when Season 3 releases. So if you earned raffle tickets, then at the end of the season, these passes were distributed. Along the way, you can play the game completely free. You don't need a pass to be able to play. There were no restrictions for our users. Every new experience that unlocked until the very last day could be played by everyone. So you could go enjoy those experiences, and in playing that, that's how you leveled up. That's how you got those raffle tickets. If you won the raffle tickets and you had already played the experiences, then any rewards that you might have earned as a season pass owner, rewards in Sand, you already had those rewards unlocked, and you could then at the end of the season claim them. So users were looking to complete about 150 quests in Alpha Season 2. That number will be different in Season 3. But in completing those quests, they earned 500 Sand tokens. And then we also had an additional bonus that was available in Season 2, but that may or may not be available in Season 3. We'll see how it works. In Season 2, we had 10,000 season passes available. Once again, we gave them all away completely free. You can't buy them from us. Some users were trading them on OpenSea, and that's at your discretion if you like to do that. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty enjoyable experience. I mean, right. I think most people got them just like a nice 1-to-1 exchange. It is RNG based, so we had a good 300,000, 400,000, somewhere in that ballpark, active players, and then something like 1.3 million registered accounts in that period. So it's good. It's building the ecosystem. It's building up the Sandbox game over time. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you that when it comes to the RNG for winning the alpha passes, that for Season 1, I did not win one. I mean, part of the team, but I didn't win one. And then Season 2, I did win one. So, it's luck of the draw. Like, I was in a group of, 5 or 6 people that I, kind of talk about the Sandbox with on a daily basis. And in that group for Season 1, 3 out of the 5 of us won it. I was one of the 2 that didn't.
Well,
but, it happens. Luck of the draw. RNG.
Here we go. All right, so...
Right, and I completely missed out on Season 2. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh, that's true.
You had prior commitments.
I mean, I was dying, but
that's a prior commitment.
That is a prior commitment.
You're committed to us to be here, so yeah.
I got it on Season 1, so I was happy.
Well, Conrad,
right.
We got anything else coming up? Any other questions, sir?
Oh yeah, I was waiting on our forum.
That's right. Oh yeah, Lucas,
it's in the chat.
Oh,
we were putting it out on Restream, or do you want me to put it out?
No, yeah.
I got you.
All right. He's got it.
Hold on.
He's got it.
Hold on.
Lucas,
we all
put it on Twitter once you're ready.
Alrighty, go ahead. We all did that thing where I was like, "You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
No, you're gonna do
you
it.
Got it.
Hey, you're gonna do it. No, you're gonna do it.
If you guys want to give me Restream access, I can do it. I'm fine with that. I'd love to.
Wait, did I not already do that like 36 years ago?
No, didn't. I keep asking, and we keep saying we're gonna do it, and then we get sidetracked by the awesomeness of the Alpha Stream chat.
You're right.
I can make sure that you get that right after.
Don't even wait. You know what I mean? No, I'm kidding. Just go now.
I love Joe's passive voice.
What do you mean? Oh, Alex. Oh, so excited for Alex.
Why are we so excited for Alex? Tell me more.
Well, because he went and verified his wallet for the other side thing. Because he's the only one of all of our streamers that I had told you, get in there now, that actually did the KYC.
That's wonderful. I'm glad he got in. I missed that message.
I know, you were dying.
Oh man, I'm still so mad. Anyways, let's get on some of these questions here. It is for a Wizzy the Green hat. Hopefully there's no duplicate. But Meta Verified wants to know, I heard you guys mention there's a big update coming.
Yep.
Do you have any intel on that and on new collaborations for features for working on a single map with a team?
1 second. Let's see what I can say.
Oh. Chat. He's got beans and he's not spilling.
Ooh, I would like to answer a question in the chat. I believe it's Weggy. Weggy asks, what is the difference between Wizzy colors, and is there any future use for holding them? And I can say there is a difference between them. If you go and you actually look at the Wizzies on the Sandbox site, you can see They all have different gems and catalysts. They have different rarity tables. Some are like rare, some are legendary, some are epic. And so they, like I said, they all have the different gems and catalysts in the back end when you look at them. But also, holding Wizzies or Wizzy items now will allow you to be a part of Wizzy activities in the future, according to Alex. Correct,
Yes.
guys?
Yes, there would be a 10K project for those Wizzies in the future, but as Alex is one of the busiest artists in the business, it takes time. It takes time to work on that. And in the meantime,
Just take time.
In the meantime, I'm out here working on the social hub and those sort of things, throwing around concept arts, and we're having conversations, making stuff happen, putting stars together, building entire actually businesses around it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know.
It's a beautiful thing.
Oh man,
What's up, Conrad?
Metaverse. I say metaverify. Why am I so hard?
Metaverse. Yeah,
I can't even do it. I can't even do it.
No, wait. But I'm going to give you credit on that because if you do read it very literally, it's Metaver 5.
Right.
Metaver
I mean,
5'd, but it's Metaverse. You're right.
I always give people crap for not being able to read leet speak and whatnot. So, that's why I took that one so serial. You know.
Yeah, it hit you in the feels. Hit you right in the feels. It's okay.
Right.
We're learning. We're growing together. This is a safe space, Conrad.
I mean, I'm gonna judge me, so I can't help it.
There it is.
It's fine. You can. But I'm gonna encourage you not to, but you can. Let's let it happen.
Julio over there on YouTube wants to know, when is the land migration?
The land migration auto migrates. Let me pull it up.
27th was the auto migration.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I was going to go to the medium and check it out here, but that now that's not the migration that actually takes it over to the Polygon network. That's just the preparation for it.
Correct.
So my cat wants to have a talk.
They always do.
If you see the form from Lucas is right on Twitter, that is the one to trust.
Farhad, that is me, and you're good. Thank you for asking, though. Constant vigilance, my friend.
Right. Our friend Soyboy wants to know, will the attack slide animation be changed in upcoming updates? I know I personally, myself, want to see different ways of attacking and all sorts of other animations in the future. Quality of life stuff,
Sure. So I'm still looking through all of the different things because it's that many. Heavy attack is getting reworked.
I gotta say good on that one.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. If it changes dramatically or if it changes insignificantly, I'm not totally sure. But yeah, we'll like I said, we'll see how it comes down. You guys asked about lights yesterday. That's only probably 50% done through development through that process. Anyway, yeah, so I'm not seeing on the short-term roadmap, I'm not seeing that multiplayer question or multiplayer connectivity for creativity. I'm not seeing that on the short design, but I know that is on the roadmap in the relatively near future. So we'll see where we get. Now, Ice Pilot X7, Alex has made it very clear that when Alex is here, if there's no duplicates, then Alex will give away a thing.
It was just for that one stream.
Was it?
Yeah, it was just for that. It was that one stream.
I'm gonna say it now. If you guys on a GMAE show do no duplicates, which I still don't believe it'll ever happen, I'll personally give away an NFT.
Man. Same.
I am ye of little faith.
I got fruit bats. I got a lot of fruit bats, actually.
Ooh.
Got a lot of fruit bats.
Good prize. Everybody needs a fruit bat in their life.
Right.
I mean, it's definitely a good world building element, especially because of all the caves that we like to create, all those underground spaces.
Plus, I love bats, so.
Shout out to Half Dork in the chat. Nani?
Right. Tinder. Alrighty. Lucas, if you could do me a favor and close out our form there.
Done.
This one.
All right, let's do it. So I'm going to try to run this without cheating, apparently.
And while you're doing that, here we go. I'm going to try it again.
Go for it.
Engard over on YouTube. Oh, goodness. I want to know how is the land that is blue in the sandbox different from lands apart? I know, Lucas, you kind of touched on that. I believe you actually explained fully in that, but for all of our other viewers, you want to
Sure.
explain
No,
that
that's
for
a
us?
great question. It's so the lands that are blue are simply just booked or reserved by the Sandbox game for future partnerships or announcements. So those could later, let's say that we run out of all the land sales and we see somebody has made something that's just amazing, and we decide this needs to be in the metaverse, right? We could immediately just say, great, cool, it's amazing, here's a land, right? Go enjoy your creativity. Well, that's interesting. Seems like both of those two cacti there that had something to say to me. So I'm finding some other little things as we rerun this. That's okay. That's good. But yeah, so there may come a day where we're just like we're chilling, we're hanging out, and Activision is like, hey, we're interested in publishing a Call of Duty world or something, right? Like, and that comes up, and we'd be like, cool, yeah, great. Here's a land for that over there. That's essentially what that's all it can or would be used for. There have been other cases where we've done like game jams, and back then, there would only be like, I don't know, 50, 60 submissions, something. Oh, just slipped right off. 50 or 60 submissions to those game jams, so it was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. One day, unannounced, told nobody. We were doing the Game Jam Award show, and Seb was like, you get a land. You get a land.
Oh, he Oprah'd them.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
literally
that's
said,
wonderful.
Anybody who submitted a thing to the jam, as a surprise, you all get a land.
I love that. Seb is basically Santa Claus for the metaverse.
There it is.
Right. And I was unfortunately not sitting in a chair, so I couldn't under anything.
Nice. I understood that reference.
It didn't quite land. We were almost there.
You had to look under under the chair to get the car.
Our Apes of Space game dev over
What's
on
up?
YouTube wants to know about any future game jams. So that's kind of relevant.
Sure. So as part of that conversation that I was having with you guys earlier in the week, I'm trying to arrange so that I am in literally every meeting. Then so that I can disseminate that information that comes down from those meetings of any kind of game jam, whether it be past, present, future, partner, whatever, right? Can I put all that information in one space at one time? So hopefully that all works out in the short term. And then I can keep you guys updated with it, not just, here on this show, on the Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening show. We can keep you updated. Ideally, right now, and I don't know if it's within the scope of work, so this is not a promise, but I would like to be sure to have it on the website somewhere where you're on the main page and you can just click events or something like that. Like what's happening right now. I keep slipping off this rock.
And all that kind of thing, that happens from your feedback, chat. So make sure that if you got suggestions to give them out.
These rocks.
I mean, you got here pretty quick with that.
I did. Speed run, Practice makes perfection or whatever.
Right. We got Julia in the chat now.
What's up, Julia?
Morning. And morning, Kevin.
Good afternoon. Kevin.
Yeah.
What's up, Kevin Gresham? What's up?
Finally joining us.
Kevin's always hanging out in that GMAE show. Dude, these rocks.
Yeah.
These rocks, though.
Killing
I
it.
mean, we already knew, right? We've already done it, but I'm just, we're just hanging out, answering those questions here in the chat. Canada Kristen says, I have too many suggestions that you forgot about. Just take me with you to the meetings and we'll be good. You know what? That might be a thing. That might actually be a thing.
I mean, that might be a good idea. Maybe a great idea.
I mean, it's definitely a great idea. And that's, yeah. We'll talk.
So,
We'll talk. But Anand, Joyce over on YouTube wants to know, is there any chance to open the Creator Fund for creators and UGC?
Yes, always, but also the Creator Fund had more recently been slightly restructured, and is very, very rarely accepting new submissions to that program at this time, with the interest that it has kind of overgrown the scope of work for the number of people that are in the program. Like there are a lot of approved studios, there are not enough consultants, and so as we continue to work to expand that team, that might expand. That said, UGC eliminates the need for that, and it's relatively close here around the corner. So, I mean, it's great that we can finance, fund, what have you, those things, and give consultations. But if there is an alternative method, and we've certainly been exploring them, then that alternative method may be the better way to go at the end of the day. Maybe just open it all up to the whole wide world and make sure that you have the resources in another means that is more compatible with the 40-hour work week, let's say. Because a lot of our, devs that have been approved for that program and the QA team that's working on that program, those people on both sides are getting stretched fairly thin. So to continue to expand that it ends up bringing, that's a lot of damage, Oop, buried.
I got our winner.
Okay, what you got?
I'm really excited about this. This is just another one of those instances of someone who's been actively participating in the community, winning the prize. And I actually see them in the chat right now, so I'm gonna type out their name real quick.
Oh yeah.
That goes back to what somebody had said earlier. They were like, how come I see regulars be winning more when, is there a score system? What goes on with that? No, it's just hang out more. Eventually, the odds are in your favor the more chances that you enter. So
the chat understands what's going on. We have 219 submissions today. That's a 1 in 219 chance that you can win. And if you're actively in this chat on a regular basis, those are fairly decent odds that you're eventually going to win something solid. These aren't little prizes. These are pretty amazing prizes they have real utility behind them. So
right.
That all being said, I want to say who this is so they're not left hanging anymore.
All right, say it out loud.
To Jazzwolf over on Twitch TV, congratulations.
Lying, dog. Oh, get out of here. Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, this is a buddy right here. This is awesome.
I'm excited.
All right.
I'm excited.
No, I'm into it.
I'm digging this. This made my Saturday. It really did.
Imagine being there for like literally every show since 1994 and only just winning today,
And that's the thing. Like, I had to go back into the form, the winners form, because I was positive Jazzwolf had won at some point in the past, but they haven't. No. This is wonderful. I'm really glad to see, because you're right. Like, I think every single stream that I've been in, Jazzwolf has been in, and they're just now winning. So for people to say like I see regulars winning all the time, well, it's they stuck around.
You gotta commit. You gotta commit.
Distance.
Yeah.
So that's again, Jazzwolf, congrats. Really happy for you.
It's interesting though that you kind of mentioned that that idea of like a loyalty point system, dude. I am triggered.
Well,
but
we are discussing, getting Twitch drops and things like that, right?
Exploring it. We'll see where it goes. But yes, we are exploring options for types of like loyalty drops. But we'll see if it how it works out. There's no confirmation on if it's going to exist. If it does exist, there's no confirmation on the budget for that kind of program for for that sort of thing. But yeah,
I mean,
we'll see. We'll see. The conversation has started as of literally this week when I was in a meeting with one of our employees who is a former Twitch staffer. So
I would like to throw one thing out. We're saying that the conversation for loyalty drops has just started, but I present the idea that it's kind of already been implemented in the fact that, you know, we got airdrops for holding on to our Alpha Season 1 pass.
oh
I know
yeah,
that's an
that's for
airdrop
sure.
and it's different, but it's still in the same vein, you know, like it was a utility, or it was an NFT that held utility at one point, but afterwards it was stated, you know, this utility, there won't be any utility for this afterwards. And then Seb came out and said, you know, but if you hold on to it, there will be some value behind that. And then all of a sudden we start getting these airdrops for a shield and for a sword, or not for the sword, but for the shield. And you know, we're doing, and that in and of itself is kind of a loyalty drop.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. Like the memorabilia being associated with the account is that way, but you know, I'm just mostly in the idea that if you are watching for a certain amount of time, because that was the direct question from the user, right? Was like, are these people acquiring points over time to?
Oh, you mean like Twitch points, like Twitch TV points?
Literally exactly
gotcha.
that. Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the you know, like I said, that conversation only has just gotten started as of this last week, where it was sitting in that call and being like, hey, what can we do for these people who are here regularly, if anything? So we're seeing if we can pull some strings and get some things. If anything occurs, however, it will probably not be until at least season 4 of the tests, alphas. So
when it comes to Twitch points, specifically the electronics, we can't do that right now because we stream every platform.
Right. So the only way for us to be able to enable Twitch points, as you know, as you see some channels do, is if you become an affiliate or a partner. And when you do that, when you sign that agreement, you are also signing that you would have exclusivity to only stream on that platform. So we could possibly do that, but that's another conversation that we would have to have with them to say, we want to turn this on, but we do not agree that we will be exclusive. Do you, Twitch, agree that that is acceptable? And if they say yes, which is a very special agreement, then we could turn on the points while also still streaming on YouTube, on DLive, on Theta, all that. Because that, you know, we don't want to be in a situation where we stream and then get banned on Twitch or something, right? Because we violated their TOS. Then all the Twitch friends would not be there. We wouldn't have the opportunity to raid like we do after every stream.
Right. Here we go. And I want to know, so does chat, were there any duplicates?
There was quite a few.
Dang it. Guys, don't disqualify yourself. Fill it out one time.
Yeah, there was one person that filled it out like 4 times. They tried to be sneaky, but I caught them. And I want them to know that. I'm not going to say who they are or how I caught them, but I caught them. My eyes on you.
Okay, Lucas is... like, we can't even see those eyes. I personally never seen him. He's a green alien to me.
Candidly, Kristen, give me your ideas. Send me that DM.
Let's do it.
I see the ideas about
alrighty.
points. Maybe it's another option. I would like to also have them for YouTube and other platforms if we can.
Yeah, if we could figure out something for everybody. That. But moving on with some questions here. We didn't answer this question. Garnakin over on YouTube wants to know, are there any sort of tips for owning lands?
Any sort of what?
Attacks.
Attacks?
Attacks. Like a...
taxes.
Like taxes. Like,
no.
Just for simply holding the land itself.
No.
You're gonna get fined?
No.
Wait, let me
Simple
turn
answer.
off my
Yeah, Crisp is killing you there. Yeah.
a little better. My dogs are asleep right now, so...
Oh, there we go.
Should be good.
Even if they start barking, I'm going to welcome that noise. I enjoy hearing your puppers.
Orc.
I do not.
All right, so real quick, you guys wanted to see the end, and so I've got it up here on the screen. It's been there.
Yeah, let's go for it.
A panther named The Big Guy says, what, you expected a squid or something? I can't believe you made it all this way. No one is going to believe your story, so here's a POAP for you. Sorry, fresh out of t-shirts. Go decorate your apartment with it or something. Have a nice day. And then, here, there's no indicator to grab the trophy, but it is a trophy, so I was compelled and I grabbed it. and
it killed you.
it kills me, and it spawns me next to it.
How dare it?
On my head. Oh, my head. Sorry. Oh, my head. Where have I been? Man, that salmon loaf picnic lunch really packed a punch. Whatever, I guess. And now I can't read the text. So this is where I would say that that particular text block, if you wanted to have that, or you wanted to have a self-promotion, as I said, it should occur there, here, now. So rather than be a thing that pops up over my head and disappears over a set amount of time, have like a sign be here or something, or like that asset itself that is the trophy has the text block above it when you're within a certain proximity, so that there is no timer on that, and I can get the victory screen while reading all the text. The QA that you should do there is that if I do walk over to touch that trophy, that in that moment the pop-up doesn't fade into my body, because that can happen with those text pop-ups as well, as sometimes they'll fade, or they will definitely phase through you if you attempt to walk through them. So when you place it here based on whatever proximity, place it in such a way that it's still showing when the victory screen is showing.
Right. And Tailbar, thank you. Property tax was what we were looking for.
Nonetheless, no tax.
Right.
No tax there.
No tax.
That's a great question, though. Asking about property tax on virtual land. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the
Right.
idea of property tax on virtual land, but I like where your head's at. I like where they're going with that.
Right. I loathe the idea, but
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
could do it. Like I wouldn't put
Excuse me.
I wouldn't put it past the company.
Woo!
And then Weggy wants to know why don't you give it chance to buy Alpha 1 and Season, or Alpha 1 and 2 passes to get Alpha Season 3 passes for free? How come we're not giving those people that have the previous passes future passes?
Well, at a certain stage, it becomes exponentially unsustainable to do that. But you do get an increased chance with the raffles ticket system. At least that was the case between Alpha Season 1 and 2. So if you were to do that, then you're talking about going from 5,000 plus 10,000. Now we've got 15,000 we have to give away in Season 3 if we do it in this way. And then Season 4, we've got to give away 30,000. Season 5, we've got to give away 60,000. Season 6, we'd have to give away 120,000 passes. And once again, at a certain stage, that's sort of unsustainable for that model. It may well be that the season pass itself gets eliminated, but we're not there yet. If it does, then it does. Like the pass portion. Because we have another system that is being implemented that isn't done yet, called Ethos Points, which are essentially a team-wide or faction-wide experience that you can earn for your team. So you can choose to be a hero, a scientist, or an oracle faction. And in any of those three factions, you're
Where my hero's
earning...
at?
Get out of here. Oracles are going to dominate you, my guy.
No way, dude.
Dominate you, my guy.
What's Conrad's faction?
We're going heroes all the way.
It's going heroes.
Okay. Alex, you're going what? Or Joe, you're going
Triggered!
what?
No, Alex and I are both Oracle.
That's why I said
Right.
it. I know that you were in team of the same one. So, heroes, oracles. Man, I might need to go scientist just so we can break this up.
There we go. There we go. But anyway,
I mean, just get tagged.
the design of that faction system is such that if Lucas is a scientist and Conrad and me are both heroes, right? Then Lucas is completing quests. Lucas is getting Ethos points. Conrad and I are completing quests. We can get first place. Lucas can get second place. And the first place prize as a team may be larger, but there are more of us. So we're splitting that prize equally between the number of users. And Lucas gets to have the entire prize by themselves for second place in this example.
Right.
Meaning
I like
that
this
Lucas
example.
would end up getting more sand tokens than Conrad and I, despite not being in first place. So it's an interesting dynamic because it auto levels the playing field. Like people would realize instantly, it's not good to just go with the biggest team because it as an individual beneficiary. But it's an interesting and dynamic system that when that's done, the idea of a pass at all, a season pass, at least for for the sandbox content may not be necessary at all. And then a season pass at the same time may exist for partner content rather than existing for the sandbox content, because our play to earn system may be this revolving, constantly refilling pool of sand. So that ethos points sand allocation pool is built on the sales that you're making on the marketplace, or the sales that you're making when you buy lands and trade assets on OpenSea. That 5% is what funds all of that throughout the future of the sandbox game. So when we get into year 5 and forward, it's entirely funded on the revolving aspects of the ecosystem.
Right. I see my heroes in the chat. I got you.
I have a question, actually. I want to ask the chat a question now. They're always asking us. I'd like to ask them.
Okay.
If you have already decided on a faction, drop it in the chat and tell us who you are. What are you going for? Which group are you aligning yourself with right now?
I already know, based on Half Dork's comment, what theirs is. They say in chat right now, oracles, boracles, first of all. And heroes are weirdos. So I'm going to just assume you're a scientist.
You couldn't even come up with a fantastic name to call us?
True.
Come on.
It's true. It's true.
I don't know. I feel like his oracles, more like boracles, is kind of reminiscent of Billy Madison, and I'm okay with that.
Adequate over on YouTube asks, where do we know our factions? Your faction is your discretion. When they become available, you can choose heroes, scientists, oracles. Just it's all about your preference.
Not Jackie Chan says snoracles, and I'm digging it.
Can we not right now?
Get wrecked. All right, scientists. All right. You're with us.
Okay.
Oracle's going down.
Only one faction has the skeleton of a dinosaur in the faction hub. Okay, so sorry.
So they bring death along with them?
Only one faction has the highest point in the metaverse. Okay, thank you. That's oracles. So how about that?
Metaverse is asking, is this like
heroes?
Harry Potter houses?
Yeah,
absolutely like Harry Potter houses.
Basically that exact same thing. How about the heroes?
Ravenclaw.
How about the fact that the heroes have decided to assemble a trebuchet inside the keep instead of outside of it? You're not throwing a single 90-kilogram projectile, all right? You're not throwing one of them. You'll destroy your own castle, all right?
It's the superior weaponry. I don't know what you want from us, okay?
Yeah, I want you to get good.
We got wizards, all right?
I want you to get good.
We're just going to cast lightning bolts anyways. Yeah. You're just going to get fireballed on.
You have
what are your oracles got?
Druids, bro. What are you going to do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Guess how flammable druids are.
Yeah, as flammable as a wizard, I assume.
Your armor is made out of bark, friend. What are you going to do against my metal?
It's made out of hopes and dreams.
Ooh, I like hopes and dreams.
And we will crush them.
Oh, I like that too. I'm torn.
You know what's fun? The scientists in the corner that are like, y'all are dumb. I got mecha robots.
Like,
wait. The scientists have mecha robots? Is that what I'm hearing here?
I mean, have you been to the scientist faction? They got like holograms and stuff, dude. It's wild.
I think that I might need to go scientists, because if it's robots, then that's obviously my thing.
They're just observing this
Why
D&D.
Did I open this? I'm like drinking an energy drink, and I'm like, I want caffeinated water now.
I mean, I've got 4 drinks right now. One of them is water. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, if they got nukes, then whatever. We're playing with nothing.
No, that's not gonna happen. That's not. We have a proliferation treaty, friends. That's not gonna happen.
That Geneva Convention keeps getting in the way of my biological warfare.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
Too soon.
The heroes over here are still trying to deal with the Black Plague. So, no.
It's rough. It's rough, man.
Oh no. If you're an Oracle or a hero, you can't even access TSP because you don't have computers, according to Carrot
There you go.
Very nice.
Boom.
I don't know. We got huge statues, biceps. That's what Knockback Chan says.
Wow.
So, yeah. We got the muscles.
Okay. And Joyce. Anand, Joyce. Sorry, I misread that for sure. Question. If you suppose user-generated content is open to everyone, then when minting the asset, Should we have to pay the gas fee in the sandbox market, like where we are paying in OpenSea? Any transaction that happens on the blockchain has an inherent gas fee, but that is why we are moving our assets over to the Polygon network, because gas fees in minting currently cost anywhere between $30 and $60 when you mint a new asset on the Ethereum main network. So when we move it to Polygon, that is less than a penny to do. So assuming that the Matic token doesn't explode in valuation, then that'll be relatively cheap for you for a very long time.
Even if Matic goes up to $10 a token, let's say, it's still going to be a lot cheaper than it currently is.
But I want to leave the caveat to you, Lucas.
Yes.
As I am looking right now, I'm going to tell you, originally priced in on coinmarketcap.com in 2015, at 75 cents. Ethereum also used to be cheap.
Oh yeah, when I first got into this, Ethereum was around, like, I think 125 was my first Ethereum purchase.
Yeah. So what it really comes down to is, as it becomes increasingly usable, as it is increasingly used, the price may appreciate over time. And that is where, like, that layer 2 solution is a good scalable solution, but there may honestly come a time where a layer 3 may be necessary as a function. Probably
so you
not
think
for
even
the
with
Sandbox game, but
so even with the fact that layer 2 is a roll-up type solution, that
Yep.
it still could get to the point where the layer 2 fees one day become equal to layer 1 fees now?
yeah, well, so the thing that a person should look at when you're thinking about fees is not what it costs in dollars. It is what it costs in the native currency.
Okay.
That's how you can tell if a thing is going to possibly, maybe at one point, become expensive, right? Because it's all relative.
Yeah.
So when I look at the Polygon fee, you mint a transaction and it costs you like 0.0015 Matic, right? That's nothing now. But when I mint on Ethereum, it also cost me 0.0015 ETH.
I see what you're saying.
So yeah,
Logic tracks.
it's expensive on the Ethereum network, but it's cheap relatively in ETH, if that's how you track the money. So if we come to such a point where the Polygon network is as popular as the Ethereum main network is today, assuming ETH is like 10 times, 20 times more popular or whatever later, then it tracks that the Matic token has increased in price. So when you're tracking your gas fees in dollars, like most people are doing right now, you end up with that logic where you're like, well, this is expensive, right? But if you forget that it's in dollars for a minute and you're just thinking about it as ETHs, or you're just thinking about it as Matic tokens, then it's whatever. It's the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
As long as you can recoup those losses, it doesn't really matter what that fee is. But, once again. So, Canada Kristen says, if Matic reaches $10, we're talking about $1 trillion market cap for Matic alone. So, I don't know. Or $100, correction, as you're saying, Kristen. $100 but that's not unfeasible. Realistically, Apple Computer is worth way more than that, and they're one of the businesses on, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So, yeah, it's very possible that happens, not just with Matic, but with any of these particular assets. But whatever. Anyway, this isn't necessarily that. Now, Nouveau Vibes asks, why not tie things to a stablecoin then? And that's that thing that I had mentioned. When you stop looking at things as a dollar's valuation, you are still, one ETH is one ETH, one Matic is one Matic, one sand is one sand. If you're using that as your means of, or your mode of value transfer, and it's not dollars, then it doesn't really matter, right? It's a different mindset and a different cost basis, because sand is the only way I can buy land, right? So instead of looking at it as a land is, whatever, like $7,000 or $15,000, I could look at it as a land is 1,011 sand. And the means of production to getting that 1011 sand is going and entering in contests for VoxEdit, or entering in contests for the Game Maker, or doing social contests, or playing in alphas. And I'm not getting those earnings as dollars. I'm getting those earnings as sand. You know? So yeah, once again, it's all about what is your
Right. I would recommend anybody getting into crypto to detach yourself from the dollar itself. That way you don't continuously feel the need to watch it and be concerned with your portfolio, because you're just going to give yourself stress and heart.
Yeah, it's actually funny to that point, because Lucas the other day, I shared like a screenshot because I reached the funny number on my portfolio the other day. And Lucas was like, "Oh man, congratulations! Like, it's nice to see that things are going really well for you, right?" And then the next day I was like, "Well, easy come, easy go. I lost 70,000." You know, and it was like, but when you look at it as dollars, you can do, it becomes very stressful. So it's much easier to just look at things as a means of, like, a mode of, I need this because I need to use that asset or whatnot, not because it's worth a certain amount of dollars and cents or whatever. And once you can get into that mindset, things end up rolling up very quickly for you as well. And you tend to get more dollars faster, ironically, when you stop thinking about it as dollars. At least that has been my experience. So
now you're 100% spot on. You know, I've been involved in the crypto space since 2020, and there was a point about halfway through 2021 where I stopped looking at things as dollars and cents, and I started looking at them in their native currency. And I'm not saying this to just be like overly dramatic, but I feel like I became a better human at that point because I stopped being such a worrier, and like I was a better husband, I was a better friend. And it's because I wasn't always stressed out because I wasn't looking at that dollar amount.
Right.
I was looking at the staking pools that I was involved in and how my amounts, the overall amounts, were increasing as opposed to the dollar amount fluctuating daily. And there came this point where I stopped looking at things in a form of how much USD is this worth, and I started looking at them in the forms of how much Ethereum is this worth.
Right.
And it kind of like when that flip happened, it was like, oh, this huge light bulb went off in my head, and it was like everything got better from that point forward.
Yeah, and that's a really good point too, because that is the way that I eventually was thinking about it. Is like I flicked a switch where it was, I don't want to acquire more dollars, I want to acquire more sand, right? Or like, I don't want to acquire more dollars, I want to acquire more ETHs, right? So once you get into that mindset, then it doesn't matter anymore. And suddenly things, like I said, they get exponential. So it's interesting. And a question had come in just now from Bold Time Crypto over on Twitch.tv. It says, is it possible to change M-Sand back to sand on the Ethereum main network? And it is possible. Give me a second and I'll show you exactly how.
The bridge. All right. So I'm going to go over to sandbox.game. And in the top right, you can click on your avatar and you can click on the staking section up here. And can I throw something out there real quick?
Do it.
So the most common mistake that I've seen from people that are bridging either front to back or back to front is that it's a multi-transaction system. So you have to approve it and then you have to push the transaction through. And I've had multiple people message me or answered multiple support tickets in the Sandbox Discord because people are like, I've been waiting 12 hours for my transaction to go through and nothing. It looks like it's done, but it's nothing. And so just look at the fee. If it's a very incredibly minimal fee, that's just you signing the contract saying, yes, I allow this to happen. Then you still have to, that's step one. You still have to move on to step two, which is pushing the actual transaction through.
Yes. And so I'll show you those two things actually that he's just talking about. So in the bottom right, you can click the bridge sand button, right? And you can deposit, which is to take them from the Ethereum chain to the Polygon chain here. And I can click, max and click deposit, and it'll bring up a transaction and it'll start the process. Or you can click withdraw if you want to take it from M sand back to regular sand. So if I had, I don't have any that's just like empty. I keep restaking it as I'm getting it here. But so you click max here, you've got the amount of sand, or you type in a defined number if you only want to take some of it out. You want to keep the rest in there, what have you. But when you click on let's say I can take out one or whatnot, there's not enough balance in there right now, but I click confirm on this, and then you'll see in the top right, it'll say pending. So this pending transaction, what that is you're waiting for a number of transactions to roll up together and then be verified on the Ethereum chain, which happens at an interim time period. This can be, I think the longest time I've ever had to wait for this was like 24, 26 hours, something like that. But most of the time it happens within an hour. So all you have to do is click the withdraw, you click on the amount that you want, you click this button. And what'll happen, as Lucas said, is that you'll get the first transaction pop up, and this will happen on the Polygon chain, and it'll say, do you want to do this? And so you say yes in your wallet, making sure that the wallet is set to Polygon at that time. Then you'll get the pending transaction, and it'll say, do you want to do the thing? And here, if I was on the withdraw side, I would click on this pending transaction, and it'll have the initialized withdraw. All right. Once the checkpoint is completed, checkpoint completed means that it has now done that roll up on the Ethereum main network. It has said all these people, these like 1,000 different transactions want to come over. They want to be on the main net. And we've done all these other transactions as well. So those verifications happen on the main network intermittently to show the layer 2, or to show the layer 1 that the layer 2 did stuff, right? So when the checkpoint is completed, then you'll get another pop-up that you have to approve on the Ethereum network to move it from their checkpoint area to your wallet on the Ethereum main network. And then it'll say withdraw completed once that transaction is done. So this checkpoint completed one is the one that takes the time, that like hour to, as much as, like I said, I've had it be 24 hours myself. But yeah, it is a safe and secure process. I think, I had a heart attack once because I had transferred 100,000 worth of sand back from Polygon to mainnet, and that was the one that took me 24 hours, and I was freaking out. You know what I mean?
That would be stressful.
But it worked. It was fine. It was no big deal, right? It was just like, I was like, what do you mean? And like, one of the things that I would say I personally don't recommend to do that I did is I actually tried to go into the transaction and speed it up because I was like, well, this is taking too long. And so I adjusted the transaction speed, and that actually made it take longer. So I don't recommend that you go when you're doing the withdrawal, whatever, or moving it from one network to the other. Don't recommend you try to speed up the transaction. Just let it happen when it's going to happen.
I want to answer a Korean friend here on YouTube. I'm
Okay.
going to try and say your name, Quinco. The price of sand and all coins, tokens go up and down, friend. If you consider sand being low right now, then maybe it's time to buy. Maybe it's what are we doing? Not financial advice, of course, but
All right.
it's just the nature of crypto.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a fire sale.
Yeah, okay.
You never go to your favorite store to buy things when everything is full price. Or maybe you do. I'm a person that goes for sales. I shop when things are on sale. I try not to shop when things are full price.
Yeah.
So for me personally, like we said, not financial advice, but right now what I'm looking at is the market is offering me an opportunity to get into points where I normally wouldn't be able to do so.
Yeah, and there's an interesting thing that two things. First, it's not isolated to a sand token or whatever. As I look over right now, Ethereum is down on the low of what it's been pretty much for the week. Then you have the other side of things that nobody thinks about it like this, but a bull run only starts at the bottom of a bear cycle. Does that make sense?
It does. And it's very sound advice.
Ooh, look at you saying those buzzwords.
No, I mean, like, everybody's always looking for that, right? They always want to like catch the moon or whatever, right?
Right.
And so as a person who is buying trading a lot, and has done relatively well doing so, you dollar cost average your purchases and your sales. So when I see an asset that I think is sound, that I think is a good investment, I see sand, which I have bought a lot of over the years, bought and sold a lot of over the years, sometimes to my sadness that I sold it. I look at it as I'm going to buy it when it is slowly going down, but I know that it's solid fundamentally, right? The thing that I really like about the Sandbox specifically as an investment principle is that we don't just constantly give away a ton of supply. You've seen some play to earn games do that, where just like every single day there's millions of these tokens going out. And so, it doesn't matter what your volume is, you're still generally getting downward pressure, unless they had like a ridiculous hype cycle. Whereas we, as the Sandbox, aren't doing that. We're going, this is how much sand we have that we can give away every 6 months, and it's just always that amount.
Right, and so I want to touch on what Ice Pilot just pointed out.
Yeah.
Joe did, in fact, he does have a horrifying and sad story of selling some land pretty early on in the game.
Why are we touching on this? I feel like this is mean.
Because he just wants to make me sad.
It's not mean.
It's a cautionary tale. It's a cautionary tale.
Yeah. And also a testament to, what we believe in when it comes to the Sandbox. He came back.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So I guess for anybody who's new in the chat who doesn't already know this, I'll say it just since Conrad wants to rub it in my face, you know what I mean?
But try to be mean, Fred.
So no, I know you weren't. I'm just messing with you. So we just had a land sale, right? People talk about there's super high demand and it's crazy and it's wild, right? When I first started with the Sandbox, just as like you, like somebody who's watching, somebody who's hanging out, I was watching Alex's show, this show right here. And
this exact one, actually.
It was literally this exact
Saturday show, not of course on this date, duh. But but I was you used to be able to buy on the map. You could just like chill. You could just chill. You could pick and choose. I joined in the second land sale ever. In that land sale, I bought 3 estates and 5 lands. Like, you could just buy estates. They weren't even on auction. You could just buy a whole estate. I bought 3 of the small estates, and I bought 5 lands. I gave 3 of those lands away to my friends because they were like $35. Wild cheap.
So we can run, people.
And guess what? ETH was like $150 at the time or less. And I just sold the lands for 3 ETH. The estates, each of those estates I sold for 3 ETH. You know what I did?
What did you do?
Couple of weeks later, we had a sale event called the Moon Sale. It happened after round number 3. It was a series of like 6 sales in a row that we did, wrapped around the Atari area, which was part of round 3. I had bought more estates. They were something, zero estates, and I thought that's pretty cool. That might be highly desirable. And I sold those again for 3 ETH because I was like, wow, I just made like $2,000. I'm so smart, And hey, guess what? Today, those estates, each of those like 5 total estates would have sold for something in the ballpark of like 20, 25, 30 ETH a piece for those estates. The lands, at minimum, would have sold for 2.5 to 5 ETH a piece for those lands. You know what I mean? So, this is the cautionary tale. Don't be me. I left it so far in the Sandbox game trying to think that I was smart. I left about $2 million on the table. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But, still, nonetheless, I'm here and investing in the Sandbox all the time. What's up?
I do have a question for you. Don't you have another sale that you're supposed to jump into here shortly?
I don't, because that sale got extended to, it'll start at 6 p.m. my local time.
Fair enough. I just wanted to make sure we weren't making you miss something that you were looking forward to.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you for looking out.
And Tailbar in the chat giving up the support positive spin on it. You made a profit. And it was high percentage at the time. Exactly. So it looked like a good deal.
Yes.
And, if you would have held that ETH, it might have been a different deal as well.
That's true.
On paper, it was still a really good. He went the right way. He did a good thing.
Right.
And that's the thing. When I talked about earlier, when you dollar cost average out your sales, sometimes you just look at it and you go okay, I've made my piece and this other person can go and be more successful than me, and that's fine. Right. You've done well for your own future. You've built the building blocks and you can go from there. So it's not a bad thing, right? It's just one of those situations where you will look back on it and you have to very much choose not to dwell on that and go like, oh geez, like everything could have been perfect if I was perfect. Because if that was like on any given day, you're gonna see a token on CoinMarketCap or whatever go up 30%, and you're gonna be like, oh well, I wish I owned that. Like that's the same mentality. You can't be that way. You just have to think about, like I said, I think about fundamentals all the time. I think about long-term growth, long-term health. It's a big part of the why not only did I buy the Sandbox, but I continue to do so. Yeah,
Right.
it's,
I mean,
yeah.
you still have lands, right?
Yes, and sand in various different wallets. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to this ecosystem that I love to see, and we're still building in it, right? All those things. So
Yeah.
it's great.
You do kind of let me segue into a question here. Farhad on YouTube wants to know, my brother and I want to play Sandbox with one computer for Season 3, which Season 3, we have no idea when.
Sure.
But from 2 different wallets. Is that okay? We have one computer with good VGA performance.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
same
for
computer,
sure.
2 wallets?
Yeah, just make sure that, okay, so if you're running from 2 different wallets and it's you and your family, like that's normal. You know what I mean? It's just you and it's one other person, or it's you and 3 other people for that matter. Like I assume you've got other family members that are adults possibly living with you. Everybody has different situations all around the world. But if you are, if you're coming up to the top right, you're logging out here and then you're logging in with another Web3 wallet that is your brother's wallet, then whatever, I mean, not you, but your brother is logging in with their wallet, or it's not a big deal. That's fine. Yeah.
Right. The people that were concerned about breaking the TOS on multiple wallets and multiple accounts and things like that, they get found out pretty quickly because it's not like a family set of,
Right.
accounts coming from one
Suddenly
computer.
it's 15 and you're like, what?
Right.
A lot of other indicators as well. Like there's a lot of markers that go into figuring out what's what. And so just being
Right.
2 people on the same computer isn't going to do it. The Sandbox understands there are families out there that are single computer homes. It happens
Yeah, and there
more
was
often than not.
in the last alpha, there was roughly like 15,000 accounts out of the 1.3 million registered accounts that ended up getting banned for that sort of activity. So you can see what a small percentage it really is, and that we are looking at those sorts of things. So,
And definitely don't do what Kevin Gresham is suggesting. Just stick to your one account, guys. Don't risk it. It's not going to
don't
be
risk
fun.
it for the
to get
biscuit.
banned.
Don't risk it.
Like,
All
Keep
right?
that memorabilia. Like you want
Just
your
chill.
you want your Sandbox
Just
stuff.
enjoy life.
Chill. Right. And unfortunately, we already did our giveaway.
Chapter.
So if
You good.
you're
You
joining
good.
us
Come back
now-
with us. Let me see. The next stream we're going to have here, I'm not going to be available this evening, so we will have a stream on Monday. Oh, no. Wait. We're going to do Sunday. We're going to do a Sunday stream.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the Good Morning, Afternoon,
We're gonna
Evening show tonight, we're going to be doing it tomorrow.
we're gonna do our extra long stream tomorrow, I believe, right?
Are we doing an extra long one? I don't know.
Why 4 extra long?
I don't
Because
know.
we missed out on Thursday.
Did we? Oh, you're right.
We did. Because we went for dinner
Yeah,
for
because we went for dinner. You're
your
right.
lovely wife.
So we'll, yeah, we can do an extra long stream. Chat, if you have a game that you'd like for us to play on the upcoming Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening show on, well, tomorrow at 2 a.m. UTC, which may be the next day for you, depending on where you live in the world. It's tomorrow for me. Then, yeah, feel free to leave it in the chat here. We can add it to our queue, and we'll play your game live on the stream. This is any game you've developed inside the Sandbox Game Maker. Otherwise, we may go explore in the metaverse for a little while and see what's going down. JazzWolf24, once again, I want to say congratulations for winning today. I'm super hyped about that still.
For real.
Super hype.
Oh man, I was gonna touch on this earlier. I forget who said it in the chat. It might have been Tailbar. When we were talking about property taxes, there was a good point that the property taxes usually
Schools.
go to schools. Yeah, you remember that comment.
Yeah.
The public schools.
Yeah.
And with that, I started dwelling on it. I think that would be kind of a fun idea to be able to fund a like a public space to where we could go in and actually learn easier with the Game Maker and things like that. And it's completely free and paid for by the 5%, you know?
What if I told you that already exists? You can go over to the Sandbox's official Get book and learn how to create in VoxEdit and the Game Maker right now.
Get
Hey.
Joe.
Also, you can check out our friends over at the Metaverse Masterclass and Squiggly.School and Inside Participate, as they are helping community members like yourselves learn new skills in the sandbox anytime.
Amazing options.
Oh my goodness.
Don't
So
stress.
What
many
else?
opportunities.
Can we do some infrastructure then with those taxes?
You know what? You know what we could do is we could just not do taxes on the
Right.
lands, because we do, as the Sandbox game, fund these programs through the 5% overhead that is already placed. So if you were to create an asset and you publish it on the marketplace, there's an additional 5% over your listing cost that is added. The consumer sees it as a flat rate. You get every sand that you were asking for initially, and that 5% overhead goes to funding seasons, that goes to funding educational programs, that goes to funding all sorts of different things. And then on top of that, when you make those trades, those sales of lands, of assets on OpenSea, those third-party markets also have that 5% rate. So it is a good rejuvenating system as it is right now. No sense, really, in adding an additional tax to your lands.
So what you're telling me is that the Sandbox is already prepared for this sort of thing?
Yes. Turns out.
Hey.
Prepared and executing.
Down from day one.
Right.
All right.
I love it.
What's the price of sand? The question comes in.
You can find out on
sand,
CoinGecko.
You could look at CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap.com, but as I already have it up on one of my 4 screens because I'm a stupid nerd, $2.14 currently for a sand token.
Most definitely. I was playing that up for you, chat. We already want the people to be able to pocket more, as Gilbar said.
Solargy must be watching Half Dork's D&D campaign that we do on Fridays, because they just asked me to do my D&D voice.
Do you have an Obamasu voice?
It is Oba.
Okay.
So yes,
I
do.
personally killed Oba twice.
Yeah, you did. You might have. Why?
I'm his DM on our normal game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought you meant like in the game, like your characters were feuding.
First of all, you didn't technically personally kill Obo at least one of those times. I voluntarily jumped into a lava monster's throat to kill him from the inside.
How'd that work out for you, Joe?
It worked out great, actually. I'm still dead, but one of my friends was kind enough to resurrect me as a zombie and sacrifice me to effectively the Lich King. And there's no chance that character's ever coming back in that campaign.
Right. No, Sandcoin. Oh, okay.
You know what?
Anyways.
Yeah. The sand SAND, $SAND, is the only token we have. No other token exists right now.
I do have some questions in the chat, but I want to touch down on a mini D&D story here for everybody.
Sure. Let's go.
Yes, the first death that Joe has ever had in D&D, I believe that was correct, was in my campaign.
If it was the day one death that you did to us, then yeah.
Oh no, I mean that's the start of the campaign. I killed everybody. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
there was emotion.
That was a lot of fun.
They thought their invested characters was being killed by a bone devil, but that's different. Anyway,
how is that different?
It was, trust me, it was a good narrative beat, and I was like, oh, and then he's like, find out next time. Anyway.
I literally ended the day one session with, yeah, you're all dead, and now you wake up in second layer of hell, this matter stuff. Anyways,
wow.
The first official death that Joe had, where they had to bring him back, there was gnolls that were pretty nasty. They're like level 4 at this point.
Gnolls are the worst.
Bonus action dashed. He's already
like he likes to do.
Already a Tabaxi monk, and he gets in there. He's 80 feet in front of everybody else in the party. He goes right up against these gnolls, gets surrounded,
and
killed in the first round of combat because he was alone.
Yep. Because all
And
the
the
gnolls were
party-
like, what are you doing here? Turn left,
Right.
poke.
And of course there was fog of war, so he couldn't see that there was 4 more additional right next to them that the 2 that they could see. So don't leave your party, folks.
Don't split the party.
Turns out,
Don't split the
you
party.
know who does split the party all the time?
Who?
Lucas is right.
What?
Yeah, you and PandaPops literally going shopping while we were inside after
I wasn't
our
even
campaign.
there for that.
First of all, exactly. All right.
I love it.
No, it's actually a lot of fun to play that. I mean, I don't know. I'm very emotionally invested in that character because it has, I think, like one of the easiest voices to do, one of the more dynamic voices. Unless I want to just sound like Deckard Cain. Let me see if I can. It usually takes me a second to think it up, but
Right.
Conrad, insult me. You know what I mean? Then it'll come out real quick.
Oh man, I
Don't do
mean,
it, Conrad.
the
Don't stoop to his level.
the very the official death for Joe, I got to describe his idiotic decision to want to poison he says lava monster, but realistically is an old primordial god
Much different.
avatar
Much
that-
different.
that he saw in a form of a giant lava frog-esque demon thing. And he was like, I have this really cool assassin's blood poison, and this fool jumps in its mouth after I described how it's spitting out and oozing lava with every attack that they have. And he jumps in its mouth to get the poison down there, which it did damage. It did a lot of damage, in fact. And then after they had finished off the fight, I described the roasted chicken that was his corpse. Do you have a stay a while listen now?
Oh, Chaotic Mongo, you want to hear? Stay a while and listen.
There we go.
Yes, I could do this voice all day.
Literally all day.
Yes, it's actually quite easy to do.
Impressive.
Oh man. But back to the sandbox. Let's D&D. Zolinar Blake over on YouTube wants to know, when the full game is out, will there still be season pass content?
Yes, season pass content is not isolated to the sandbox. In fact, many different partners may also offer season pass content.
We want you to be able to create your own passes. And of course, Sandbox probably won't ever stop doing events.
That is also true. We may stop doing season passes, but we also have the Ethos Point system as earlier described on this live stream. Check it out on the VOD.
Not Jackie Chan wants you to rap as Deckard Cain.
I'm not going to do that.
Oh man, I would love to hear it. But Ron Simo over on YouTube wants to know, how do I publish my assets to the marketplace? When is that marketplace going to be open, Joe?
Yes, currently, users can't publish assets into the marketplace. They cannot. But you will be able to in the near future. You'll just want to wait until we have our migration complete to the Polygon network. I could literally do this all day.
I'm impressed.
It's a little Captain Picardy, yeah.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking, I'm feeling like a Captain Picard vibe in here, and I'm really digging it. Like, I wanted him to say engage #1, but...
It definitely does that when you smile, for sure. But if you're not smiling, then you can get pretty serious. Diablo, Bale. Yes. Belial.
How dare you? Can you say Belial, the trickster and liar?
No. He's like, no, I cannot. Thank you very much. Next question.
All right.
Alrighty, folks.
Oh, that's...
Well,
look, Canada Kristen is just a total boss monster. Wonderful human. It says, don't just wait. Use this as a chance to build up your collection, since collections sell better than individual assets. And make sure you have fully tested everything out in the Game Maker. That's a great piece of advice. Build a portfolio of assets so that you can become a renowned artist that everybody says, I need it all, and not just one piece.
And she brings up a really good point of testing the assets out in Game Maker.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people design their assets, but then they never actually import them over to Game Maker to test them out there, and sometimes they look different. It's not like wildly so, but sometimes they look different, or sometimes they act a little different than you expect. So definitely bridge them over and try them out on both fronts, because it'll give you a more of a wide perspective on what you're actually working with.
For sure.
Sure.
It occurs to me that I can't do the Obamasa voice, which is actually just Rocket Raccoon, because if I ever do that, I feel like part of the language is insulting people and or cursing.
I mean,
see, now I feel justified in calling you a trash panda all those times.
Yes, it was always just Rocket
always
Raccoon. Yeah.
I love this. This makes everything so much better.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The Obamasu in my campaign was actually from another bubble. So he's part of the Fuge, which is D&D space, essentially. So we were actually workshopping him to be Rocket Raccoon. So.
To actually just be basically a Guardian of the Galaxy. At a certain point, I had a living plant, but it never got to mature before I died.
It's fun because my character's based off Tony Stark.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Except you don't have enough of that like rampant alcoholism that Tony Stark has.
That's in the real world, not his character.
No, that's actually his comic book character. He was a drunk.
Yeah, I remember. It's
They just never did it in the movies because
he's gotten better.
He got better.
He's working on himself. He's going to meetings.
Yeah. If it's all the same to you, I'll have that drink now.
JKing, unfortunately, we don't have any of the commands implemented. So we have been live for about 2 hours now.
Just chilling. Just having fun.
We would love, we'd love to have all the Twitch commands and all that fun stuff. Quality of life is what I call it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Twitch commands, once again, Twitch commands really comes down to if we can get Twitch to agree that we can be a partner and do like the, and then it's okay, cool, let's implement all these other features for Twitch. As it is right now, we have just basically platform parity where we use the Nightbot to publish on both of those things, and don't so much do that sort of thing because it's not as feature filled as even like an affiliate would be.
Right, and Garnakin over on Twitch wants to know: will there always be upcoming raffles?
There may not always be anything, if that makes sense. Like, so we're currently in the middle of, maybe the middle of an alpha development for the client, for the software that you use to create games, for the software you use to create assets, for the website itself. All of this is actively in development. So if there comes a point where the team/community comes together and says, I need this or I hate that, then it's fully malleable. We can adjust it, take things out, put things in whenever. It all really just comes down to what you guys need as we push ever closer to that version 1.0 and finally say like, okay, we're done. And now let's patch things and add little tweaks and changes and things like that. And one of the core things, once we get to that version 1.0, I mentioned earlier, mobile development needs to come through, and then also transition from our current creation system, which requires no coding skill to know. We would also like to implement visual scripting, which is where you can kind of drag and drop like blocks of code into places like if this, then that, if not, then that sort of stuff, and then move from there to full-on scripting, and becoming then their open source from that point. So, yeah.
For real. And 9A7A quoted you there.
Yeah, there may not always be anything. It's very true.
It's so much darker.
It's funny because Conrad and I have had that conversation. That's one of your deepest fears, right? Conrad is like just zooming out on the universe and really like looking at it.
Oh yeah, doing the hard outlook and just how small everything is.
There may not always be anything, right? Like you never know.
Yeah.
Wait, why is that a bad thing, Conrad?
It's terrifying.
How's it terrifying? That's exciting.
I personally find it terrifying.
Yeah.
Interesting.
See, yeah, I
Because
like
your
the void of
impact-
space, but
Well, your impact is just so minimal, and we consider we get lost in like everything that we do as people, and we
Yeah.
stress out about
To quote
stuff.
Rick and Morty, if nothing matters, then everything matters.
it's so funny. That's so
Yeah,
funny, dude.
I guess.
I mean, that's true.
Uh,
Like, I always look at it from like two different entire scales of thought, right? Like, because like I want to maximize the human potential, right? I want to like make sure that we can do everything that we want to do, continue to exist. But at the end of the day, if all of humanity was like, that doesn't matter, I just want money, I'll be like, well, you know, I tried my best. I guess the world will continue to spin on with or without us. You know what I mean? I'm very halfway between where you are, Conrad, and just like pure optimism, where it's just like, you know, some other species will probably come about in 100 million more years or whatever if we just ruin everything
Yeah,
because we're dumb.
I do a lot of philosophical and all sorts of like I think about this stuff often, but I'm trying to get more of it on positive light. If you're following me on
Yeah.
Twitter, you can
I'm with it.
see me
I'm
trying
with
to motivate people recently. I'm trying to hold on to that real hard.
Okay, so
Dying. I want to get to an actual question here.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Half Dork asked one that I'm going to hit
Yeah,
right now. It
visual-
says, would the visual scripting be in C#? The visual scripting, I think that is C#. I'd have to double check, but whatever Unity is operating under, that is what the visual scripting will be. I'm pretty sure that is C#. And Candidly Kristen says, the other big thing that I would want is let us access inventory in multiplayer hubs so that we can show off what we have won/bought. That feature is coming. So yeah. Obviously we want you to be able to showcase your NFTs as you like.
I don't actually. We completely knocked out all of our questions that were in the queue.
Look at
So
that.
anything coming in right now, and I want to remind everybody, please give us a game to play on the show. We want to test out your games. Otherwise,
Yeah,
we're gonna end up
absolutely.
playing something random.
True.
And tomorrow, as in Sunday, the 1st, we'll be doing an extra long impromptu GMHE show.
That's right.
So-
When is that going to start, Conrad?
Oh man, I can't do math.
It's going to start at 2 a.m. UTC on this
Thank you,
channel.
bud.
So if it's not already tomorrow for you, then that may actually be the next day after. If you're living in the Asia Pacific region, if you're living in Europe, you're living in Africa, you know, anywhere in between, all those places, 2 a.m. UTC is your time for that on Monday. For us, it's a Sunday show because we are living on the Pacific West Coast, with the exception, of course, Lucas, who is in the middle of nowhere. I don't even
Middle
know.
of nowhere, the
Middle of
void
nowhere,
of
USA.
space.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm pretty certain that he's an alien. And
And that's true. It's true.
he's in a spaceship, right?
The question
I'm not
comes
telling
in
you. Don't
really
dox
quick
me.
from Mickey41189 asks, how much does land cost in sand? Land is offered in two varieties. One is the land token itself, just the NFT of land, 1,011 sand. Then there's also the
Premium.
option to get the premium land that is a bundle of land plus additional exclusive assets to individual land sales. How much is that? 4,000.
4,683 sand.
Thank you. You saved my life. For whatever reason, I was thinking it was 4,689. But anyway, we got you. But yeah, so you know, it's if you are entering in contests, if you're doing things like that, also you could earn that sand. Or, as you have seen on the screen for some time now, you can go on the staking page. You can stake existing sand, slowly acquire earnings. Currently, 19% APR on M Sand. So if you had maybe you won a contest and you got 11 or you got 1,000 sand and you're like, oh, I need 11 more. Stake the sand, earn that 11 over time, get ready for an upcoming sale. And if you want to know the best chance to increase your the best chance to increase your odds of getting a land in a land sale, then feel free to ask those questions on the GMAE show, as I answered that just last night. We are coming down to it right now. And
Time to dance us out.
let's Let's go. Let's go.
I'm ready to go. Where are we going?
All right. What we're going to do is we're going to go over to twitch.tv. We're going to look at the category The Sandbox, and we are going to raid somebody who's playing or creating in the Sandbox game right now. Let me preview one of these streams here because it looks like we got somebody new. Oh, they're restreaming our stream. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, I'm gonna.
Hey, yeah.
So it looks like the user that we're gonna raid here right now is GrieveVox, GrieveVox. That is twitch.tv/GrieveVox. So we're gonna raid them right now. I'm gonna go back to my page here real quick. Here we go. Maddox of Furia was still in my queue from last night's raid. I'm going to queue those up. We got 113 people over here on twitch.tv right now. Let's get the vibes going, man. Let's...
Are you doing the thing?
What is he doing?
Doing
is
the
there
thing.
music playing?
Pushing the buttons. Yeah, there's music playing. Can you not hear?
I can't hear it. I can never hear it, so that's okay.
You never could. Because you're on Discord. If you'd like to hear it, I'd have to tune it into you. Then I'd have to break your eardrums, you know what I mean?
Please don't do that. I like my eardrums.
No music. Triggered!
I mean, bump.
Wait, is it not? Is it really not going out right now?
There's nothing. Boom. Bootsy cats it.
There
we go, amazing voice.
There we go, chat.
Let's hear it for Conrad.
I've never seen that in my life. That's never happened before. Oh, I know why it happened though.
Why?
Nothing. It's fine. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a better mix on my mixer than what I was normally doing. So I had it reverbing twice. Chat! Let's raid. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you later. Woo. That raid's out, so thank you YouTube, D-Live, Facebook, Theta, Twitter.com/TheSandboxGame. Thanks for hanging out with us here today. It's been a great time. Conrad's vibing.
Good night, everybody.
We'll see you later, lovelies.